Welcome back to Court 2, Day 5 in the Hobart Aquatic Centre for the 4th CMAS Age Group World Championships. We are looking at a under-23 men's grudge match between Colombia and South Africa. Colombia at the moment sitting third with 6 played, 4 wins, 2 losses, and South Africa sitting 5th, 6 played, 3 wins, 3 losses. Colombia holding 12 points, South Africa holding 9 points. So a really important game for both teams. Colombia obviously looking to continue creeping up the standings here, and South Africa are obviously not wanting to slip back there. They've got France in between themselves and Colombia in 4th place with 6 played, 4 wins, 2 losses with 12 points as well, but less goals scored against the Colombians, which is keeping them in 3rd as we count down inside the last minute to go. Joined here in the commentary box, I'm Parko, and with me is David Lambert, the Australian elite men's coach. How are you, Dave?
I am well, Stuart. We keep saying every time an exciting game, but that's the sport of underwater hockey. We get matchups coming back, and there's some histories to them, and as you said, this is a close table in the 23s. We're getting to the pointy end here. These are all important games for these players and these teams, and they're out to win everything and take all the scalps they can.
Yeah, that's right. As you can see there, the Colombian boys, Pipe Benet, number 10, Emmanuel Zapata, number 4.
That was number 2.
I believe Kui is actually sitting out this game. So as we count down the final seconds, what an exciting game. South Africa versus Colombia. As you can see, the Colombians are swimming in hard at that puck. I'd be very surprised if the South Africans aren't doing the same. The South Africans winning the strike on a nice little sort of reverse sort of back of the stick slide to his right forward on a big drive by the South Africans initially here, Dave.
Yeah, that was a bit of a deceptive move there. If I was a Colombian trying to swim out there, I would have gone the other way, and that was certainly what he was looking to do. As we see lots of energy in this game already. It's just ferocity and numbers on the bottom. They're all there, aren't they, Stuart?
Yeah, that's right. A lot of energy being applied in the early stages of this game by both teams. Not surprisingly, the South African guys are very big lads. The Colombian boys a little bit smaller in stature, but equal in energy and aggressiveness on the bottom of this pool. The Colombians having a lot of very big breath hold type guys. As you can see, again, the referees are pulling up an infringement. Looking at a South African for a free arm there with a warning for number 10, and it's going to be a Colombian advantage puck. So number 10, JP Detroit, getting a warning there for a free arm as we see the Colombians setting up in a very typical 2-3-1 structure there, played by a lot of the countries at this tournament, Dave.
Yeah, and again, as if people joining us for this game, as we did with the other game, the under-19 girls Colombian, they all sit behind the puck, Stuart, in sort of a more, I describe it as a conservative approach, where they like to keep possession and keep all their numbers behind the puck, so their team rotate the puck back easily to the team and maintaining possession. That's a smart move, but I see a bit of a conservative angle to it, but that's just me, Stuart.
Yeah, it is interesting. I mean, I kind of understand the logic that they apply. I see, you can control the puck from the outset if you have all your players behind the puck, and the guys with the puck are the front runners, as the South Africans do exactly that. They sort of run in on the 45 and then quickly back out to their strength on the wall. Very typical movement by the South Africans initially, and then trying to drive the centre channel. Unfortunately, there's a couple, actually 3 Colombians waiting there for them in the centre channel as they come back to this near side wall and try and work some strength through their 2-1-2-1 structure there, Dave.
Yeah, number 11, Eric Hand holding the play up, waiting for his support to come. It was an interesting move, Stuart. The South Africans really willing to rip it off the wall, turn it around, and try to drive a slightly square to a 45 drive. But look, the Colombians were up to the task. They're used to that wide switching. They do it themselves, and they were sitting there waiting. I think the South Africans need to have a look-see and maybe go a bit deeper or come earlier in things as we line up for another South African puck. And it's interesting to note that the South Africans do come in with everyone behind the puck, but they actually move it laterally, unlike the Colombians who drop it back to their support players.
Yes, the Colombians go for a big switch straight across their defensive tray. They've pulled that off. They are under pressure by the South Africans, but a very nice defensive into attacking move there by the Colombians in deep defence. Very surprising to see those guys throw a move like that. You normally don't see the Colombians doing that sort of defensive into attacking move, Dave.
Yeah, Stuart, glory days. That's sort of where it comes from. And being that off half, getting one of those passes from your fellow teammate Nick. And I know a lot of things go through your mind there, but if it's on, and it works well, as it did here with the Colombians, as they relieved a bit of pressure and caused the South Africans to chase and make an error, and they've got a free advantage puck.
Yeah, that's right. Well done, Colombian boys, for really putting it on the line there. And as Dave said, when it's on, and it definitely was then. You could see both the Colombians and the South Africans really swimming hard. Obviously, the South Africans very keen to cut down that switch move, but the Colombians executing it very nicely, as you can see them, again, putting together a couple of good sort of rock and roll movements and getting the puck to their waiting players. The South Africans regaining possession and driving down that wall. A fierce contest playing out here in this second game of day 5 there, Dave, in Court 2.
Look, I get the impression here both teams are testing all the spots. They're testing the edge down the wall. They're testing the middle of the pool. This is great hockey. They're testing and probing, waiting for the other team to make a mistake and capitalize on it. This is exciting stuff, Stuart.
It is, and you can see there the South Africans are actually setting up with quite a wide inside guy, just sitting square of the puck. Interesting, you normally wouldn't have that in a 2-1-2-1 setup, but they're running with that today. As you can see, they're driving the wall and then coming off the wall, getting met there by some waiting Colombian defenders. So a lot of numbers on the bottom. These guys at the moment are actually playing quite similar structures, even though I think technically the Colombians are playing 2-3-1. Technically the South Africans are playing 2-1-2-1. But because they've got that wide inside guy, it's essentially a very similar structure there, Dave.
Yeah, it's almost on the edge of a 3-3, and a 3-3 can be square, and when they seem to have the puck, they're pretty square, and then they sort of drop it back into that number 7, as we see there. Definitely a push-up pivot in, so they seem to be oscillating between that 2-1-2-1 or that style, but it's working effectively, and it looks like we have the first sin bin of the day, and it looks like a South African player swimming, and unfortunately the referee didn't like what he did and thought we did it on purpose because he's asked him to sit for 1 minute, and the Colombians will enjoy a 1 minute advantage with one player.
They will, definitely, Dave. As you can see, the Colombians taking this advantage puck and driving that puck all the way down this near side. South African defenders up to the task as they push that puck to the safety of the corner and get a couple of good rotations, a couple of fresh guys in. The Colombians are going to have to be careful here that the South Africans don't hit this puck or manage to get out of the corner and then get some really good attacking drives to those freshies who have just come in the water as a nice sort of brave, aggressive 45 is tried to be swum there by the South Africans and met with intensity by the Colombians as the puck is pushed all the way over to the centre of the channel. The South Africans trying desperately to defend it. The Colombians trying to really press their advantage in the centre channel. It's really anyone's puck at the moment. It goes over to the far side and into the other corner. Wow, a very exciting passage of play there, Dave.
Absolutely. I saw that as a really high, risky move, but it was his turn to bring it out. As we know, the corner rule, it was already put in there by his teammate, and his challenge, he can hold it there, but he has to make an attempt to move it out. And he made the attempt. He brought it out on the 45, and as you said, Stuart, all the Colombians were waiting there viciously, and they threw it into the central channel where the high percentage goals are. But luckily, and good to the South African defense, were able to defend it and put it in the opposite corner, and that's where we are. Unfortunately, they've made a mistake, and it's a foul, and it's a free puck for Colombia to see how they can set up and drive it in.
It was actually an equal puck called by the referees there, Dave, and you can see as both teams crash into the puck to try and gain advantage. South Africa getting a good drive down that far side wall, and then the Colombians regaining possession and coming straight back on a 45 into the centre channel. The South African defender driving it over to his sub-bench side. The Colombians desperately trying to regain possession and try and regenerate an attacking move. The referees have called another infringement with JB Detroit, number 10, rejoining the play here. Robbie Kilpatrick, the referee, is saying it's a stick infringement against South Africa. As we go to the live chat, Sebastian Mejia saying "Vamos Piranhas," which is a lot of the guys in this Colombian under-23 men's team come from Los Piranhas, which is one of their teams that's a Cardumen, basically a pack of under-23 Colombian players who love having their Piranhas team entered into their 3 versus 3 competition. And Henry Maria is saying Fuerza Colombia. So it's nice to see some Colombians from Medellin getting involved in this very tight game as a timeout is called by South Africa here, Dave.
Yeah, and Henrik Moulton's taking the opportunity to call a timeout because his team's under some pressure, maybe as a result of the early kick out by the player. But he's actually there, encouraging his boys to get back stuck into this game because it was a pretty even dominant performance on both sides. But he's got to regroup his troops and get going, and so will Alexander Salazar. He'll be making sure his team's ready and his team's anxious to get going. And it might be very early in South Africa, so I'm not sure how many South African joiners we'll have in here, but certainly the Colombians are up and supporting their team. Thank you on the live chat, and I hope you're enjoying the streaming. As the Colombians have taken the free puck and pressuring. Look at the numbers in there. I think all but one player has followed in the tray, but the South Africans have cleared it to the corner, and the referees are playing an advantage. I think both, one on each side, have seen something they don't like. And the puck is still in the corner, and finally we have the referees calling it up and trying to sort out who got the first, who was the first advantage as the diff referee calls them over to sort of clarify who we're both playing advantage basically at the same time, Stuart.
Yeah, that's right. As the referees are confirmed with the poolside ref, the chief ref for this game, Anton, New Zealand referee, they're just conferring with his in-water referees to see what the infringement was. As Dave said, both refs playing advantage for the Colombians, I believe. It is going to be a gloving infringement against, I should say, the South Africans. So the Colombians will get another free puck. The previous free puck taken by Emmanuel Zapata and swum very hard at the right-hand side of the attacking tray as the Colombians go on the bottom. You can see they've got one player on the surface. Everyone else is on the bottom. The South Africans are desperately trying to defend it. There's a massive pack on the very corner of the tray there. The Colombians have got good body position, and it looks to me like the puck has ended in the tray. The referees are confirming, and yes, I think that is going to be goal number 1, scored by player number 2 for Colombia. Santiago Bermudez scoring the first goal of this very tight match against the South Africans there, Dave.
Yeah, that was a goal of attritions. They were all on the bottom, bar that one player. All the South Africans were on the goal tray, and as you well know, Stuart, it's just who can keep the strength and the positioning, and it looked like, from our perspective, from the view that we were getting, all the Colombians had better body positions, even against they were outsized by the South Africans, but they had better body position, and that's a classic example of size doesn't always matter, Stuart.
Yeah, that's right. You could see that outside defender, I think it might have been the right forward for the South Africans, he basically just got pushed out of the contest, and in the position that he should have been in, there was 2 Colombians facing the right way, very close to the bottom as the South Africans go for a big attacking drive down this near side. The referee calling advantage there. I reckon that advantage should be for the attacking team as the buzzer goes. I think the South Africans are going to get an advantage puck here, Dave, for a stick infringement by the looks of it.
Yeah, number 13, Cameron Steffen, made an excellent drive down the pool. He sort of isolated that Colombian player who was looking to move the puck wide. He caught him napping, took the puck off him and drove, and then forced the error by the Colombians, and we got a South African jostling for positions to actually drive the puck in as the South Africans do that, but the Colombians answer the charge and clear it straight to their corner so they can actually regroup and get out of there with number 9, Andreas Sanchez, looking to drive the puck out for the Colombians, Stuart.
Very nice defensive passage of play there by the Colombians. You could see the South Africans drove it in on a 45, and actually those 2 outside Colombian defenders just waiting, knowing that their Colombian teammates are going to shovel that puck to them. They got that puck and they just shoveled it straight to the safety of the wall as they come on a big counter-attack down this near side. Funny how the play can change direction and position in the court so quickly there, Dave.
Yeah, it is, and I was saying earlier, Stuart, that I'm not sure if it's because you get some fresh legs in there. The Colombians were deep in defense. They had a bit of a pep break, and these guys are really fit. They recovered very quickly, but they also have the advantage of their sub-bench being close by and rotate a number of players in, and then the South Africans were up there exhausting themselves as we see the Colombians trying to recycle it, spread the defense of the South Africans wide to come back to that danger zone in that middle channel to try to drive it through, exactly what they're doing, but the South Africans are matching their charge with strong defense. and we see a referee playing an advantage. But gee, this is fierce hockey, and I'm really enjoying this game because they're testing everywhere. They're going down the wall, they're bringing it off, they're going through the center, and both teams are answering those charges and testing all the avenues of attack and defense. Stuart.
Yeah, that's right. As you can see, the South Africans getting a quick sub in there. The referees again conferring before giving the advantage puck to the Colombians. I really like to see. I like to see how the Colombians are moving the puck around, going left and right side of the court before trying to attack the centre channel. A very proactive way of trying to create some space in between the lines of the South African structure. As you can see, the Colombians attacking straight down the middle. The South Africans are being up to the task of defending, and a very brave inside move there in deep defence by that South African defender. He sort of came back inside and then immediately went back outside again. So. As Robbie Kilpatrick, the Australian referee, says that it's obstruction against the Colombians here. The South Africans are going to get a advantage puck in their defensive area. As Sebastian Mejia reminds me that I am actually a Carduman player as well. Thanks for the reminder, Sebastian, and Ola, mi amigo, from over here in Hobart, Tasmania. As this game reconvenes, the South Africans having the advantage puck. And as Dave said, a very exciting match playing out here. So for those of you around the world, if you're not already watching this and you know people are keen to watch the stream, then just send them a quick message. Send them a quick message on WhatsApp or on your phone or whatever, and get them watching this game, because it really is an exciting match so far here, Dave.
Yeah, wake up, South Africa. You're missing a cracker here. I know this is live footage as the Colombians are driving through. It is a cracker of a game. I'm sure one of the things about the free air that we're putting, it's on YouTube, so I'm sure when the South Africans wake up, they'll be able to watch it again, the replay, and they'll hear all the play. But you're right, Stuart. It's interesting to see also, I'm not seeing a lot of big passes. I'm seeing a lot of big swims to the open water, puck on the front of the bat, short passes to their next support play. So they're keeping the risks low in terms of exposure of the puck, and I think that's playing into both teams' advantage here. And both teams doing that, testing all the edges. It's gonna, even the Colombia has a 1-0 lead, and I must say, for the last with 2 minutes left to go in this game, it has been in the South African end, but it's been pretty even contest, Stuart.
Yeah, that's right. I think Colombia have got their noses in front, obviously on the scoreboard, but as well as in relation to just the amount of attacking pressure they're putting on the South African defence. As again, they press this centre channel and try and reach the goals there. South Africa doing a very good job of defending that particular drive by the Colombians. As you can see, that they've taken that puck to right underneath their sub bench. Probably one of the safest places to have the puck, particularly if you're in defence. You can get a lot of subs or fresh people in the water there, as they do a good job of controlling the possession and try and start to work that puck out of their defensive corner there, Dave.
Yeah, a good hold possession by number 8, Enric, there to pass it back to Derek, his player that came in full support. And it was interesting to see Derek not go for hell for leather there to drive it out. He was sort of looking for his support team. Very, very smart and very mature play for under 23 division.
Yeah, it was, definitely. And you can see there's a lot of contest going on in this deep defensive corner for the South Africans. The Colombians are really not allowing them at the moment to create any sort of quality attacking drives. The South Africans desperately trying to get it out of their defence and create some attacking momentum. As you can see, a really nice inside move there by the Colombian player. The refs call another infringement here, so it's going to be interesting to see which way it goes. I'm sure the South Africans would love an advantage puck, and the referees give them what they want in this case. A bit of obstruction by the Colombians there, so the South Africans are going to get a bit of a reprieve, a bit of an opportunity with only 30 seconds remaining in this first half to create something and possibly get a goal in the puck in the tin here, Dave.
Yeah, and at the end of the last half of the halftime of the game prior to this, Great Britain put one in with like seconds. It was milliseconds. The referees had to confer when the buzzer went, and unfortunately we have looks like a substitution foul. White, he's reeling at Colombia. He's calling a timeout, which it looks like with 1 second left to go, I think it's probably inconsequential, but it looked like a subbing infringement made by someone. Number 11 he's calling, and maybe it's Juan or maybe it's Enric. I'm not sure. Did he say
number
what?
11 for Colombia is Juanes Castaño. So Castaño is going to go spend a minute in the bin for an illegal subbing infringement right on half time as the teams swap over. That's definitely not the way that Colombia would like to start the second half of this very tight game. He's just conferring with the chief referee there, Anton, about what happened. But unfortunately, Colombia are going to have to go one player down for this second half as Natalia Buritica Diosa says, Mono por acá estamos, y Catalina y Salome Amor por siempre, Santiago Morales, nuestro campeón, toda la familia, te mandamos la mejor energía, te amamos. Y Isabella Calle saying, Vamos Colombia, with a lot of love hearts. So a lot of support coming from Colombia now. As you can see, those Colombian lads just trying to get their breathing under control, trying to get as much oxygen in their lungs as they can. You can see them sort of coming up and down out of the water there. That's a very nice technique employed by their coach and their teammates to just slow their breathing down, make it a lot more deliberate to get them ready for this second half of a very tight contest versus South Africa here, Dave.
Yeah, that's interesting, Stuart. I've seen that done a number of times, and they're blowing lots of bubbles. So it's really just a flushing of the excess carbon dioxide that you might have accumulated in the lungs, and this is a good way of actually expelling it and getting the operation systems in the lungs and the transfer of oxygen to the blood, keeping it stimulated. Because often you sit on the side of the pool, it sort of just ponders there, and deep breaths help. But that's really interesting. I like that, Stuart. And we see the South Africans gathering on their bench, and I'm sure Coach Henrik is actually saying, lads, let's get back stuck into this game. We're only one goal down. We have to turn some of that great defense into some tack. Yep.
Yeah, Colombia leading this game 1-0 in a really tight contest. Interesting off that last advantage puck. With only 25 seconds to go, the South Africans basically electing not to attack at all. They basically got their free puck and swum it deliberately back into their defensive corner, which, I can't quite follow the logic personally because, with the puck on your stick, 25 seconds to go, maybe they were too worried about the Colombians getting another goal in before half-time. But interesting that they didn't choose to attack to try and get a goal themselves there, Dave.
Yeah, I'm with you, Stuart. You look, 20 seconds, we've seen goals scored in less time than that, and it go from one end of the pool to the other pool. Most of us, well, I say most of us, there's probably most of the elite players, not myself anymore. 20, 25 meters,
it is
10
possible
seconds,
to defend
13
them.
seconds of swim. So then the rest of the time you use to get your group together and score a goal. So right you are. Interesting, but we got another half of hockey. Just about to get underway in 10 seconds, and if that first half was exciting as the first half, we got something in front of us. I hope the coaches have seen something and seen some weaknesses because they were probing everywhere, and we're underway in the second game at the fourth age group on. I think this is day 5, Stuart. I'm starting to all blend into each other.
Yeah, that's right. It is day 5, game number 2, court 2. As you can see, the South Africans winning that strike, swerving. That's our first Colombian opposition player. The Colombians quickly on the counter-attack, getting good possession and driving that puck all the way down the pool here. The South Africans desperately trying to defend a big drive by the Colombians. Again, they just came out of the blocks absolutely firing. Good numbers on the bottom, good drive. As you can see, the referees playing advantage here. I think it's going to be an advantage puck for the Colombians. We'll wait and see what the call is. The buzzer is going. It's going to be a stick infringement. No, that referee was actually playing advantage for the defending team, which is an interesting decision in that deep defensive corner there, Dave.
Yeah, and interesting again, throughout this tournament, we've seen some really interesting I'd love to be collecting some stats on this. Colombia is playing a player down, 5-on-6, and look where they are. They're in 5 or attacking 6, and they're deep in that corner. I don't know how many times I've seen that, but I've also seen 5 score against 6 very often in this tournament. Interesting. I just everyone gets really pumped up with 5, and the 6 go to sleep, Stuart.
Yeah, I don't know. As you can see, the South Africans on a big drive here, just really trying to get some kind of advantage on those very aggressive Colombian defenders. You can see how many Colombian numbers are on the bottom. The South Africans doing a good job of recycling that puck and just trying to get the puck into the back into the area of the court where they can find some space. Unfortunately, Robbie Kilpatrick has said that it's obstruction against the South Africans for 1 minute. The South Africans will go one player down. JP, sorry, my apologies. We're just waiting on the number to to be confirmed here. Number 8, so Elric Engelbrecht. That's one of Heinz' sons, I believe, is going to spend a minute in the bin. I think he's the captain of the team as well. So, unfortunately for the Saffers, they're going to go one player down against a very vigorous Colombian team at full strength. So, as Dave said, very interesting to see that a lot of teams in this competition can do a lot of good things with one player in the bin. Again, there's an infringement being called,
Double.
and it's going to be a double sin bin. So Emmanuel Zapata, number 4 for Colombia, is going to go spend a minute in the bin. So it's going to be 5 for Colombia and number 10 for South Africa. J. Peter Toit is going to spend his second amount of time in the sin bin here. He's not too happy about it, but unfortunately he's going to have to just suck it up and get it done there, Dave.
Yeah, he will, and it's now 5-on-4. There's going to be more space in the pool. Let's see if both teams can either defend or capitalize on it. As we see Colombia pressuring the South African team, as we look at the person sitting on the bench, but the play down there, it's against that far wall, Stuart, and I'm not sure what's going on here because it's the camera's moved. Oh, here we go, and we have a referee infringement. That's why I was saying it looks like a gloving called against South Africa. They'll be asked to back up. They have the 4 in the water, and it's soon to be it's 5-on-4, lots of space, Stuart. And I did notice that I did underestimate the South Africans, but they need to tighten up their passing in the few passages of play when they did their little rock and rolling. Was the Colombians pressing close hard on the goal, and we're seeing the defending the wrong way, a big flick into the tray from the outside. But I think the referees were making a call, but no, it wasn't. It must have been the other pool I was hearing, and it's a goal, Colombia, and it possibly was number 7, but there was a big flick from the outside, Stuart.
Yeah, that's right. Goal, as Juan Pablo would say. Goal number 2 for Colombia. So they hit the lead, take a bigger lead against South Africa. I think it's number 10, Felipe Pernay, scoring that second goal for the Colombians. A really nice overlap from one of the Colombian fullbacks there. Felipe, one of their most skillful players in this under-23 Colombian men's lineup, as the play continues and the Colombians going out hard. The South Africans getting there with probably about a half a body length of advantage and immediately taking the puck over to the far side of the court. It's going to be interesting to see if South Africa have any answers to this Colombian onslaught that they're being put under there, Dave.
Yeah, and once again, it was an excellent play by the Colombians, capitalizing on being one extra player up, spread the defense, and then drove it into the side. And in most of the goals that you've seen scoring, it's in numbers, and it was an excellent flick over the defender's arm, one bouncing in the tray. As we see the action, the South Africans are trying to mount an attack on the Colombian defense, and we've got numbers on the bottom support going, and we have another referee infringement. It looks like a stick infringement against South Africa, and they've been asked to back up for the 3 meters markings, and Colombia will have the puck and possession of it with about 9 minutes and 53 seconds left to play. Up 2 goals, Stuart. This is exciting hockey, but I didn't expect the goal so soon.
No, I think the South Africans really had to pay the price for having 2 players in the sin bin at once. They were down to 4, and the Colombians obviously having the numerical advantage, down to 5. They had a good commitment. Unfortunately, it's going to be another Colombian player who's going to go in the bin for another minute there. This is going to be just waiting on the player number to be displayed. I believe that's number 1, Jordan Ayala. I'm pretty sure he's a Bogota guy. So he's going to spend another minute in the bin. The Colombians going to have to go down to 5 again. And probably my biggest biggest piece of advice for the South Africans going through or forward in this competition is they really need to tighten up their fouls, because their time in the sin bin this game has really opened the game up, opened opportunities up for those Colombians, and they've certainly managed to capitalise at least once on their numerical advantage of having, basically more players in the court there, Dave.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't care what coach or which team you are, if you have a number of disadvantage and to that degree down to 4, there's a lot of space in this 15-meter wide pool by 25, and you're going to be wanting to follow a big line, and unfortunately the numbers in that situation that led to the second goal by Colombia was exactly this. But as we see, the South Africans are trying to capitalize on greater numbers by trying to run. As we see the Colombian player coming back in, I'm sure Henrik is a bit disappointed by the fact that they didn't well capitalize on that play. But both teams, I believe, are back to full strength, and they'll be able to settle in the game and get back to some of the basic structures of their plan, Stuart.
Yeah, that's right. As we see just under 8 minutes remaining in this second half, the South Africans taking the advantage puck, choosing to keep that puck over on that far side of the pool. Colombians up to the challenge at the moment, re-establishing a bit of possession and momentum. Unfortunately, the Colombians again getting an infringement, a stick infringement, and again they're going to get. I think it's going to be number one again, Jordan Ayala, who had just rejoined the game. He's going to go and spend another minute in the bin. So a little bit of lack of discipline on his behalf. Really needs to clean up his act and cut those fouls down. Obviously, the referees are watching, and the Colombians cannot afford to spend too much time in the bin here. It's a very close game, and the South Africans, I think, if they spend too much time in the bin, they're going to make them pay for it there, Dave.
Yeah, they are, and they're already trying to capitalize on that drive to the outside. And right you are, Stuart. I think it's in the interest of Alexander Salazar, the coach, maybe to sort of, he is talking to these players as they come out of the benches to settle them down, to get their focus back. And, the referees have been calling on the chopping. I think they need to respond and be a bit more attentive to when they go after that puck, because we all know if you sort of slash at the player and stuff things, the referees are open to interpretations. They've been doing it a fair bit in this half, and that's why they're settling for an escalation process. They give them the benefit of the doubt to begin with, but they're constantly doing it. So now it's escalated up to those 1 minute penalties, and the next one we see, I won't be surprised if it's another 1 minute. So they better tighten up, Stuart.
Yeah, that's right. As the South Africans have a infringement called on them, it's going to be a Colombian advantage. There is a timeout called by South Africa there. So Coach Heinrich Mouton has called the timeout for the South Africans. He obviously realises that with only 6.5 minutes remaining in this second half, he's going to have to get his players to pull out something very special, because up until this point, except for the first maybe 10 minutes of that first half, the South Africans really haven't looked like creating any sort of dangerous play on the Colombian defence. The Colombians are just managing to get back in numbers, get good bottom position as the South Africans try and create attacking moves there, Dave.
Yeah, look, I think it's time. It's you got to put a bit of caution to the wind. I haven't seen that puck enter the 3 meter circle of the Colombian defense. They've been relentless in terms of their numbers on the bottom and clearing it quite quickly and getting full control of the puck deep in their defense. So the South Africans have to do something to break that up. And I'm sure Coach Heinrich in there is talking to his boys. That's boys, we only have, like you said, 6 minutes left. Caution to the wind a little bit. That may expose them, but look, it's better than sitting back and letting the game just sort of clock tick, tick, tick away.
Yeah, that's right. As you can see, the Colombians taking the advantage puck and really attacking hard on the South African structure there. They're driving this right-hand side, the near side of the court, as you see it on the camera there. It's gone all the way back into the defensive corner. South African number 7 just holding it in there. It's Zinzan Paik holding that puck in there. He's doing a lot of bottom time at the moment, just basically happy to hold it there, give his team time to get behind him and re-establish their structure, get a couple of fresh subs in the water, hopefully. I can understand why, because under this sort of very consistent Colombian onslaught of pressure being applied, it certainly worked for the South Africans in that particular case, as the Colombians get pushed back for a gloving infringement. Not uncommon to see gloving called in those sort of situations where the attacking team desperately trying to create an attacking advantage in deep attack there, Dave.
Yeah, I was surprised with the lack of energy in that passage of play by the South Africans, but I think you called it right there, Sturdy. They were defending against the Colombian offside, and they just needed time to regroup. And a smart play probably took a bit longer than I would have liked as the coach. But hey, I'm not coaching or steering this team. It's up to Heinrich to do that. So he put the writing instructions down for the plan for the boys in this half. And so far, we got the Colombians driving it awful close to the goal, and the referees right on the play. Robbie Kilpatrick is looking at them. We have a clashing fall or stick infringement or something. He's asked the Colombians to back up as the Colombians are looking to the bench for some instructions from the coach. But yes, they're being asked to move back. The South Africans get a huge relief there of pressure on them, Stuart.
Yeah, that's right. Emmanuel Zapata, number 4, being picked out by Robbie Kilpatrick, the referee, for a stick infringement. Number 4 for Colombia definitely needs to watch that. He's been pulled up quite a few times in this game for those same kind of fouls as the Colombians try a little inside-out move, sort of a la Benson Taylor there, kind of lose the puck, managing to get it back before the South Africans get any purchase on it, and again establish a good amount of pressure in the centre channel. The South Africans working hard to drive that puck out to this near side court. Just a nice little tight curl there by the South Africans and drilling a flick to a waiting attacker. He's found some space. It's going to be interesting to see if they can generate any kind of attacking move. The puck has gone over to another player, but unfortunately they just lose that puck in the melee there. Back into the centre channel. Both teams desperately trying to create something positive here for themselves. And again, the Colombians just managing to defend that passage of play there, Dave.
Yeah, that was a sensational attack by JP Tuturumpa from the South Africans to isolate the back line and square it up, and he tried to flick it across the back line to his waiting player, but the Colombians were answer to that charge, knocked it down and cleared it out. They cleared it out to the middle of the channel, and it looks like we've got Robbie seeing someone with a slash against Colombian. He looked for a player, but obviously felt it wasn't. It was accidental. And Stuart, as we saw, that he tried that the AA Benson move, but I'm afraid that in this type of pool where it's lash and slidey, you can't do that as the Colombians, the South Africans line up and the Colombians back up and try to defend. But I think Robbie has seen the Colombian. We got a bit of instructions. He's pushing at someone. He's pointing at here, and we got a timeout being called. And it looks like number 7 from South Africa, Zinzan, has been pushed out for a bit of a argy-bargy, as one would call it, but a bit of a instruction trying to gain possession or an advantage in that melee, Stuart.
Yeah, unfortunately for Zinzan, he's got 2 minutes in the bin, so very unfortunate for the South Africans. There is a timeout, a ref's timeout at the moment. You can see Zinzan got his right knee heavily strapped there. Hopefully his knee's okay, but he is going to have he's going to have 2 minutes of rest in the sin bin now, so he'll get to rest that knee as well. Look, the referees are obviously conferring about something, but again, the South Africans just showing a lack of discipline against a very strong, hard, and energetic Colombian outfit here. So, it's going to be very hard for them to come back with 2 goals to score to tie this match up. Less than 3 minutes remaining, Dave.
Yeah, and Zinzan, I found out from Jaime earlier that he got that in a training game. It was sort of knocked, and then first game of the first day, someone curled and flicked it straight into that knee, and it's a bit of a bruise. There's no structural damage to it, but it is actually impeding his walking, but it doesn't seem to be impacting his finning. Interesting that the muscle strength using from his as the South Africans are lining up for defense. They were awful quick with their sort of a pointed defensive strategy. They go straight at the puck and look for the opposition to sort of go down either side of them, and they were ready for that. But the Colombians are massing in numbers and frantically trying to gain possession of that puck, looking to underbody steal. And again, the Colombians are all behind the puck, driving it out down the side in their tactics. So that setup, as I described earlier, being behind the puck, certainly was an advantage in that type of passage within that small corridor, Stuart.
Yeah, that's right. The Colombians doing a very good job of pushing the puck down the court under a lot of pressure by the South Africans. It is going to be a South African advantage puck with 2 minutes remaining in this second half of this game. So the South Africans are really going to have to get a quick goal in here if they want any chance of drawing this goal up. As you can see, number 11 for South Africa, Eckhard Engelbrecht, and again another one of Heinz' sons, just doing a lot of good work down there on the bottom to try and establish some kind of advantage. Unfortunately, they just let those Colombians on that near side wall off the hook. They gave them way too much space to come in on a 45 in a two-man drive. The South Africans managing to catch them after that and push the puck back to the wall. But again, the Colombians have managed to stay nice and close to the bottom. They just keep on managing to turn those South African players around. As soon as you turn around, if you're not swimming backwards, it's basically advantage for that team that has made you turn there, Dave. So, as you can see, Anton, the chief referee, calling an infringement against the Colombians. So the South Africans still with one player down with just over a minute to play out in this second half, Dave.
Yeah, we saw a lot of trying to push the puck through rather, and I think the referees weren't happy with something along there. There was a bit of a push shove happening there rather than moving the puck around, and I think it's just sort of some adaptation from both teams. Need to sort of get back to their basic plan and have a go at testing that edge, but let's just not get caught up there. And on cue, it's gone to the other side of the pool, and we'll see how long it stays in that small corridor as the Colombians again are pressing the South Africans, and the South Africans are asked to defend, and they were a player down. You wouldn't have thought so, but the Colombians are taking advantage, and number 11 Eckhart has rejoined the thing. No, sorry, that was Zinzan. Rejoined the play, and we're back to full strength, both sides. Deep in South African defense as the Colombians pressure the South Africans in their typical their play. They'll try to pressure you in defense into the corner, and then they'll whip it out quickly back into that danger zone in front of the goal tray, Stuart.
Yeah, well, with 20 seconds to go, what a great spot for the Colombians to have the puck deep in the South African defense. As the time ticks down, there's literally no chance that South Africans can come back from here. They probably can't even score one goal from this position with only 6 seconds to go. The Colombians doing a really good job against this quality South African team of basically just answering all the attacking questions that South Africans had with very good defensive answers. Someone's, I think, being called for a bit of unsportsmanlike, or maybe no, it looks like a dangerous flick. So there's going to be a Colombian being sent out. Number 7, I believe, or maybe number 6. We'll just wait to confirm. Number 7, Santiago Morales, is going to get sent out for a dangerous flick, but too late, unfortunately, for the South Africans. That's full time. The Colombians winning this game 2-0 against a very tight South African outfit, and wow, what a display! What a well executed game there by the Colombian under-23 men's team there, Dave.
Yeah, Stuart, as I said earlier in the game, I was really impressed to see both teams come out with a game plan that actually tests every aspect of the game in the pool. They tested the walls, they tested the middle of the pool, they tested the 45s, they tested the squares. Both sides did that, and in this case, the Colombians made the South Africans drop the guard on 2 opportunities and pop 2 goals in, and the Colombians were relentless in defense, not letting any goals in, and even with players down, players up, it really didn't seem to matter. The both teams threw it all out there, and you can look at their faces as we're closing out the course on here. There's a lot of huffing and puffing on both sides. A really executed game. Really enjoyed that one, Stuart. I'm going to try to duck out on the deck and see if I can get interviews, if they can breathe, and we'll just see how we go. We got 10 minutes to go over the next game, so thank you again, Stuart. I really enjoyed this game and commentating with you once again.
Thanks, Dave, and thanks everyone around the world for watching. Well done, Colombia, and that's it for us on the from the commentator box, and we'll cut to the poolside now to see if Dave can chat to some of these amazing competitors. If you like the stream, if you like the commentating, please donate to the cause. Even just a couple of dollars every couple of games that you watch would be very much appreciated and go a long way to supporting these young athletes and the development of underwater hockey in general. Thanks a lot, and catch you soon.
Yeah, thanks. Poolside after an exciting match, 2-0 for Colombia, and I can see some really disappointed South African boys holding their head down. But hey, boys, you should keep your heads up. That was a really great game. It was a really inspiring game of hockey for under-23s. Lots of head-up action, end-to-end action on that. But let's see if we can get someone to come around and have a chat with us as a game in this end with where I'm next to 3-0 New Zealand over South Africa and I think it's the under-23 girls happening here. But yeah, we'll just see what's going on. Again, if people are enjoying this the streaming, remember it's free, and we're just asking people to throw a little donation, or not to us, but to the sport itself for a lovely session that's happening. But I'll stay tuned. I'm hoping to grab a South African and a Colombian player to have a bit of a chat.
So yeah, we have to move on to the next game and then carry on.
It is on, Sean. It is on. Yeah, we're going to start again. Vice captain joining me here from the South African team. Must be really excited about the boys. Unfortunately, he went down this time.
Yes, yeah, Colombia played really well, but yeah, we're very disappointed in the game, and yeah, we'll have to take the next one. Yeah. So.
What's the game plan? We were noticing in there that you tested all the edges. You tried the 45s, you tried the squares, you tried up the wall, but you know, both teams were trying that, but the Colombians didn't falter on the play.
Yeah, Colombia has an excellent defense. We unfortunately made too many mistakes. We got thrown out, so it's very disappointing. So yeah, we'll have to move on.
Yeah, it was interesting. We've noticed that even though you were a player down, you were pressuring the 6 Colombians when you had the advantage.
Yeah, it's no point in losing, so you have to go all out in attack. So.
Yeah, it was interesting. Any messages for the team? I know the people back home weren't watching live, but because we're streaming and they can actually re-watch the game, they'll see it and they'll see you here. Any messages for the folks back home or any of the people here?
Yeah, I just want to thank them for the support, and yeah, we love them lots. So yeah, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning there, but yeah, thank you for the opportunity for sending us here. So yeah, love them lots.
Yeah, hey, I'm sorry about today's game, but look, that was really exciting. Past my congratulations from Stuart and I. It was a really exciting game to watch, and well done.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah, the Colombians already hit the pool for their warm down, so I'm going to call it things, and we'll move to the next game. So, yeah, congratulations to the Colombians, 2-0 win over the South Africans, but a really excellent game. Recommend you watch that one.